there's a lot of conversation around Paul Pogba all the time. He's always a centre of conversation. And Lianne, do you think at times he's not just a scapegoat for the negative times that Manchester United have in terms of the actual results, but just the general last 5 years? People look at him and say, Paul Pogba pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, I think when he first came to Manchester United, I was a big fan of his. I was like, this is a great signing for us. And, I was being patient. There comes a time where, your patience runs out, and I think at times, I don't think in this country, I think we sometimes make people a scapegoat because we're looking for someone to blame. I often think he's been at Manchester United when we've been in a weird transition period. I'm not making excuses for him. But then, on the flip side, you look at the likes of Bruno Fernandes and how he's come in, and he's completely revolutionised Manchester United. And that's what we thought as fans that Paul Pogba would do. Now, I've never known a player on their own to divide a set of fans because I speak to fellow Manchester United fans and they absolutely love him. I can't quite believe. Clearly, he's got ability. There's no denying his ability. No one's ever saying that. And from what I've heard, the teammates seem to like him. He seems to be a fun guy around the training ground. But at the same time, there comes a time where, for me, people talk to me about stats, right? Oh, he had the most chances created last season. I don't want to hear that. I want to see how productive he is on the field. And when I watch him play, he doesn't look like he wants to be there. He hasn't looked like he wanted to be there for a long time, if I'm being honest, from what I see. And at times, I just don't think it's worked out for him. Now, I've had at Juventus. He is a god in Turin. Like, literally, everybody loves him. So for me, I think the time has come where he should have been... It's been a long time coming. I think it's time for him to move on. Wish him the best of luck. I don't think anybody needs to have any animosity about him. But I think sometimes he has been made a scapegoat. But then at the same time, on the flip side, he's played in so many different positions. We talk about playing him in the 3 on the left-hand side. We talk about playing in the 2 in the middle. And he just isn't effective, in my opinion.
There's a media focus on Paul Pogba all the time. I know his agent's thrown him in this week. I wouldn't say under the bus, because I think a lot of people would say Paul Pogba should have had a relationship with his agent and had a message with his agent already that he shouldn't talk about his future publicly.
Especially during the week of the derby. The timing of it as well. Sorry to interrupt, but the timing for me is not on.
If that was your agent, what would you be saying to him this week?
I wouldn't have him as my agent because, at the end of the day, it's all to do with timing. And, I don't know if they've contrived to do this at the same time, but come on now, you're still playing for Manchester United. Coming out of these comments is not the first time, and it won't be the last time. And I feel like they probably got another club set up for him, but it's all about respect. And I think he has disrespected Manchester United Football Club. I think this was under Sir Alex Ferguson. Pogba wouldn't have even come on the field the other night. Yes, he came on and he's looked better since his agent has spoken. Looks like a bit more passionate about the club. But for me, he wouldn't have even been there under Sir Alex Ferguson.
Listen, I think I agree with parts of what you've both said. I think the Pogba situation is quite complex. On the one hand, I agree with everything you said about the fact that when you spend that much money, and this kind of plays into why there is so much focus on him, he's a club record signing, world record signing at the time. When you spend that much money on a footballer, there will always be focus on him, added focus on him, because you've made that huge investment.
Similar to Harry Maguire.
Similar to Gareth Bale. Bale goes to Real Madrid, almost immediately you see where that money's gone. I think as far as Paul Pogba is concerned, we haven't seen where that money has gone on a consistent enough basis. I would agree with that. I would say, however, that Pogba gets blamed for United defeats when he's not playing. He gets blamed for United defeats when he is playing. Pogba can get blamed if De Gea makes a mistake in goal.
I agree.
Pogba gets a lot of stick for a lot of things that are nothing to do with Paul Pogba. Again, and this is the reason why I say it's complex. Last weekend, you say, is the timing good, is it not good? Well, he scored a wonder goal last weekend against West Ham, and an agent's job is to put his player in the shop window. So as soon as he does that, his agent straight away shouting the odds again. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily, but I think he's doing what an agent does, and we've seen lots of examples in English football where agents have been particularly vocal to get moves for their players, because one thing we do know is that players, if an opportunity comes up for them to get to a club where they'll be happier, they'll take that opportunity. And I can name you lots of celebrated players who probably haven't got the column inches some of their conduct has deserved when they have tried to force a move to better clubs, other clubs. And so I'm not saying I'm sitting here defending, coming out with that sort of thing in Derby week and all that. But agents don't think about what the week is. They think about what they can do best for their player. Listen, you've got an agent, so you can probably put me to rights, and I would absolutely have to defer to your experience. I just think with Pogba, he's unhappy. I think he played 22 times last season. He had lots of injuries. This time around, he's had lots of injuries. He wants to go. It's clear he wants to go. And I think you can go, and it's the best thing for all parties. But I'll just say with this one last thing. When he was at Juventus, he was surrounded by quality, so he could produce his best. When he was at France, he is surrounded. When he is at France, he is surrounded by quality. Matuidi, Kanté, all that quality there. At United, there isn't enough quality around him.